All right, Shalom.
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 So the brothers, Great Millstone New Orleans coming at you with another live lesson. Before we get started, gonna give all praises, glory, infinite honors unto Yahweh
Yahweh
Shah
Hallelujah.
Shah
Shem
Barakatah,
Shem
Shemaiah,
Shah
Shabbat
Shabakadadash.
the lines to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who taught us the truth and rule well in peace. Blessings and salutations be to the hopefully elect, as well as those that believe in the gospel. All right, and may you endure to the end, Lord willing. All right, and you know, we're gonna get into a lesson tonight. All right. Matter of fact, brother could start me off with Luke 14, you know, just pretty much predicated around persecution. All right. And which ultimately, this is a part of our walk, as they persecuted Yahweh Shai, all right, for doing nothing wrong, you know, and the what you call it, the Pontius Pilate, he said, in this man, he's guilty of nothing, you know. And as they did Yahushua, they're gonna find a way to blame the prophets, all right, in these times today, But brother could grab that Luke 14 real quick. 14 and about 26.
I got it out.
Go
This is
ahead.
the book of book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 26. If any man come to me,
Judah, it's 28, Salakia.
time. This is Luke 14 and 28. You want me to start at 27?
No, you just get the point.
Time. Verse 28. For which of you intending to build a tower, set it not down first and count the cost, whether he have sufficient to finish it? Question mark.
Keep going.
Verse 29. Least properly after he had laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, all that behold it begin to mock him.
hmm So the foundation, all right, is the most important thing, for a builder. All right, when you build a house, you build a corporate building, whatever you build, whatever type of, even a car. All right, when you have the frame, all right, if the framework is not done properly, all right, or the foundation is not built properly, that car won't last. That house won't last. You see, but when you actually, when it says, if you intending to build a tower, when we liken it into this truth, into this ministry, all right, counting the cost is a part of persecution is counting the cost, man. That's what I want to say. You know, you have to understand and know that your family members, all right, your loved ones, they're gonna persecute you. There's gonna be a dollar amounts, all right, rewards on your head. Have you seen this man? You may see some brothers' faces across the news. All of these different things, that these things are gonna happen. Why? Because we've been out prophesying the downfall of this place. All right. And with that, by default, all right, is automatically what you would consider an act of treason. All right. But you want to make a point, Kalia?
Yeah, I got a precept for you.
Okay, go ahead.
This Amos chapter 5 and verse 10. It says, they hate him that rebuketh in the gate, and they abhor him that speaketh uprightly. And ultimately that's the purpose of this persecution. Not only just family members, but Esau Edom, his persecution is gonna come down as well, man.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen small examples within our small time in this truth, of being persecuted by family members, but how much more when the stakes are raised, when it's life or death, okay, and like this brother alluded to, when there's a reward behind it, you know, you got it, Doc.
Yeah, brother. If a brother don't have it already, grab Galatians 4 and 16 real quick. Want to say something? But
No, I'll be turning my mic off.
Con.
Yeah,
Yeah, brother could get that Galatians 4 real fast. You got something, Cabal?
Yeah, I got one at the Galatian.
Okay.
I got it for you, Royal.
I got that. You
It is
got it.
the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 16. It reads, am I therefore become your enemy because I tell you the truth?
Right, and we have become enemy number one. All right, as a brother getting ready to read in the article. all right, with this whole new initiative, which was signed into law last year, all right. But the elder brother out of Mississippi, went into a lesson on it recently. All right, just to kind of afresh, that these things are gonna happen too. As we, cheering, all right, rooting for prophecy. All right, well, this is the bitterness of the part of prophecy coming to pass. You see, this is another part of prophecy that we must endure, you know. But go ahead, Cabal.
All right. Is Isaiah 59 verse 15. Yeah, yea, true faileth, and he that departed from evil, making himself a prey. And the Lord
Mhm.
saw it and is displeased from him that there is no judgment. Yeah, but the main point said, he that depart from evil, make himself a prey. So basically, man, by us, you know what I'm saying, forsaking the wickedness, forsaking this world, his philosophies, man, his false philosophies, it makes us a prey. Especially nowadays, man, we proclaim the truth, man. We're revealing the lies of Esau, man, deception. It makes us a target to where, man, soon he gonna hunt us down, man. Where's the brother, he go into that argument, man. You got it.
uh, yeah, you got brother, ain't got any precepts
Yeah,
before we
I
get
got
that
one. Now.
article?
I got one.
Yeah, you go
Con,
ahead, Amat, and then Azaria.
con.
You on mute, bro.
Slakia. This is Matthew 10 and 21 going into, even your family member could persecute you in this time. And it says, and the brother should deliver up the brother to death, and the father, the child, and the children shall rise up against their parent and cause them to be put to death. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end shall be saved. And like you were speaking on, these are the times that we coming into that you think that, you probably might feel like you got security with your family, but in that times that's about to come, you might have a bounty on top of your head, or you might have things to where, you'll be made a target. And your family members will be those main ones that will, be the ones that will point you out,
Done. Hey, Deshaya, get that word persecution in the online etymology. You got it, Azaria.
Con. This just to back Ahmad up, because that's the scripture I actually had. It's Luke 12 and 51. Suppose ye that I am come to give peace on earth? Question mark. I tell you, nay, but rather division. For henceforth there shall be 5 in one house divided against 2, and 2 against 3. Father shall be divided against son, son against father, mother against daughter, and daughter against mother. The mother-in-law against the daughter-in-law, and daughter-in-law against the mother-in-law. And like you said, those of us in this truth, there's gonna come a time where our family gonna come against us. So maybe it's 2 of us, 2 brothers in one house, in one family, the whole family gonna turn against them. But that's the time we coming into. You got it out.
Yeah, that's a part of the devil coming down with great wrath, man. And like I said, yeah, we suffer persecution from our family now, you know. But what it's gonna get is gonna get into a much larger scale. All right. It's gonna get into the scale of you actually gonna have people come, you know, centurions knocking at your door. Have you seen such and such? There's such and such live here. You see what I'm saying? It's gonna get to a much worse case. You see? A brother was holding that 2 Timothy 3 real quick, and then we're gonna get that
Come.
word persecution, and then we're gonna get that article, bro.
I
I had
got you.
that Matthew 5 too, bro.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna get that after the article.
This 2 Timothy 3 and 12. Yea, all that would live godly in Hamashiach Yahushua shall suffer persecution.
And that's plain straight to the point. All that will live godly, man. When y'all got to mute. But everybody that so-called, professes themselves to believe in Yahweh Shai, or even these guys with these in these other camps and shit. you know, these men that call themselves Israelites, you know, they're gonna have to suffer persecution too. Or you really believe in this thing? You know, the ones that took the bag, hey man, they're gonna have to stand on that, you know, because it's gonna be a persecution, you know, from their congregation for not telling them the truth. So it's gonna be a persecution on all different levels, man. You know, but the just, all right, the godly, all right, they're gonna suffer for Yahushua's sake, for righteousness' sake, man. You know. But go ahead, Deshaya.
Ahmad, you still in there, bro? Cause I had that too. That Matthew.
Yeah, hold on. Let me get back to it right quick. I'm not far from you. Yeah, where you want in that 10, that Matthew 10.
Verse 24.
24. This is Matthew 10 to 24, and it says the disciple is not above his master, nor the servant above his Lord.
And I wanted to get that because it's a point that you started with when you first opened up. You said that Yahushua suffered these same things in which we're about to come into. So it says that the disciple is not above his master. So if Yahushua had to suffer these things, and we're going and we walking in a path in which he walked already, you know, being that perfect example, then how much more us, man? These things are gonna come to pass the same way it happened to him is gonna happen to us.
Done.
But I got that word persecution for you too.
Okay.
It's that word persecution on the online etymology. It says oppression for the holding of a belief or opinion. It says persecution, damage, affliction, suffering. It says to follow, pursue, hunt down, proceed
Right.
against.
Yeah. It said to follow, pursue, or hunt down. All right. Oppression for something, for believing in something. You see? And we believe in wholeheartedly how Bashim al Shah, all right, you know, and ultimately that belief is gonna have to be tried, you know. You say you bought this thing, you know, you gonna endure it to the end, all right? You of the hopeful elect. Well, the Lord got to see about that, right? And the Lord, He's seeing about it now, all right, through our afflictions now, through our sufferings now, all right. But you have to endure it to the end. You have to endure all of these things, man. You know, when they snatch you up, all right, put you in a sea camp, you know. The Lord say, strive for the truth unto death, and I will fight for thee, man. You know. But all these things are a part of suffering persecution. You know, these are a part of things counting the cost, man. You know. But let's get into that article, bro.
Let me pull it up. Y'all still there?
Because yeah, I can hear you, but it's dark.
Yeah,
But I can hear you though.
it's fine, as long as you can hear me. This from a
Con.
site called Zito US Politics. All right. Headline reads Trump's new Red Scare is coming to state and local police near you. All right. And this was published April 7th, 2026. Okay. Now when you go down, it says FBI emails obtained by Zito show that the Trump administration is pushing state and local police target Americans with left-wing views. Emails show as Donald Trump's hot war in Iran enters its second month with no end in sight, a quieter, colder war is simmering on the home front. It says its
And
target.
if
Go
I
ahead.
could say real quick, it said what war is simmering on the home front?
It says a quieter, colder war, Slovakia, is simmering on the home front.
Right, and that's what we're seeing, right? When you go into the world of geopolitics, all right, when you look at these, you know, average everyday Edomites, right, they sick and tired of the so-called president, man. You know, they're sick and tired of the gas prices rising. They're sick and tired of the society in itself, right? And that's what we're gonna see Second Edges, the 15th chapter come to pass, you know. But go ahead, bro.
Con. All right. It says its target is not a foreign power thousands of miles away, but
Hmm.
U.S. citizens who disagree with the president and his hardline advisors.
All right. And that starts with who? That starts with the prophets, man. All right.
Right.
Not just these people in the world, not just these people that say, oh, we disagree with this, or why are we going to war? You become a target already. All right. But just think of how much more on a higher scale that we are a target to these people, telling them what's going to be the end of all of this. You see? And they know they can't do nothing but just keep going forward, all right, to prophecy, man. All right, everything is moving according to prophecy, you see. But Jake got to count the cost and understand that this is a part of prophecy as well. Being persecuted for the name of Yahushua, man. You know, because you're actually gonna have some men be put to death. You see, this is part of counting the cost. It's gonna be some men. We're gonna get that in Matthew 16 and 28. All right, and we're gonna get that in Revelation 19. Well, let's finish this article out.
Con. All right. Second paragraph. It says this domestic war's chief weapon is a national security presidential memorandum,
Hmm.
NSPM 7, which attempts to criminalize a laundry list of common left wing beliefs and viewpoints. It says
Now
Trump's
hold on, real quick. Didn't we just read that in that definition of persecution that it said oppression for one's values and beliefs, right?
Con.
So just straight, it's telling you what the persecution is coming for what you believe in. But go ahead, bro.
It says Trump's FBI is conducting trainings for state and local law enforcement officials on the president's NSPM 7 directive in order to help enlist them in the administration's ongoing crackdown on the left email show. And it's happening at the same time as Trump's war in Iran is throttling energy prices and the global economy, creating even more discontent with his administration.
Hmm.
Real quick, hold on. I want to see. Yeah, I'm gonna read probably just this last one.
Okay.
It says what this development means is practice. Slakia. What this development means in practice is if you have criticized a corporation on social media, held a sign that demands ICE leave your city, shared a meme about alleged United Healthcare CEO killer Luigi uh, Mangione, or publicly condemned Trump's Iran war at a local town hall, both the federal government and your local police would take note and forward along a list of your thought crimes to the FBI for further review.
Wait, it said a list of your what?
It says a list, it says it will take note and forward along a list of your thought crimes,
Of your thought crimes?
to the
That's
FBI for further review.
that's crazy. That's crazy, man.
I'm
Man,
just
Esau gonna put you in jail for your thoughts, man. Yo, that's crazy, bro. You got more?
yeah. Just read these last two. They go together, and then we could get the precepts. It says, unlike a standard issue presidential directive that nudges a sector of a federal bureaucracy or realigns a federal agency towards the president's liking, national security directives target the entire intelligence and defense apparatus, which is
Mm.
why they are almost always classified. NSPM 7, which was published publicly by the White House in September makes no effort to conceal its goals. And if I can say something real quick, that's because this devil's horns are starting to get, starting to show, man. All
Mhm.
right. Ever since this devil, and I'm gonna just say, Nero 47, all right, ever since he's come into office, he have shown that he wields that power, man. He's showing that power within the earth. Okay. I'm gonna keep reading. It says the presidential directive is the most significant shift in domestic counter Tism
Mm.
effort since the Patriot Act was introduced into the law. It's like into law in the wake of 9/11. It says the program is sweeping in its scope not only for the list of subversive activities it seeks to target, but also in the joint Tism task force it relies upon. And that's pretty much it.
Con. And that's what the whole situation with 911 was about. All right. To get total mass surveillance. All right. Mass uh uh when you look at the Patriot 1, 2, and 3, all right, when you look at all of these different acts, these things were all to for counter domestic teism, all right, to look into your phone and see what you're doing. To look, they can, hey man, these devils could tap into your TV, all right. They can tap into all these different devices, which is why they call them. They use the acronym SMART. All right. Well, the it stands for, I think, surveillance, monitoring, analysis, recording technology. All right, if I'm not mistaken, you know. But they just throw the word SMART out there. You got a stove. Why does a stove need Wi-Fi, man? You know. But that's what these devils are doing. They're tracking you, tracing you. All right. They want to monitor your every single move, because they have that godlike mindset of to be like Yahweh. All right. They want to be that way. Want to say something, Kazaki?
Khan, I just wanted to get this real quick. I looked it up, but I also read the book partially, not the whole thing. But there's a book called 1984 by George Orwell, and
Con.
in the book they have something called the thought police. And basically, as this guy, who's the main character, he's always on edge about somebody, always knowing what his move is because he's basically against the leaders, so to speak. Right? He want things to be like how it was in the old world, so to speak, before they came over and transitioned. But I want to get this real quick. This is the Thought Police from Orwell, 1984. It says the Thought Police are a secret branch of the government in a totalitarian state of Oceania. It says their job is to detect and punish thought crime, even thinking anything against the party. It says thought crime means having ideas, doubts, or feelings that go against the ruling power led by Big Brother. And oftentimes you'll hear people talk about that, whatever, Big Brother's always watching. Well, like you said earlier, in the book, they will look through the television screen and monitor everything you do at all times. So just backing you up on basically how this devil wants to put us in a real life scenario of this book and mixed up with Minority Report, where they think you're gonna commit a crime or you might come close to committing a crime, and they just come and arrest you before you even do it. You know,
Hmm.
but you got
Yeah.
it.
And that's what that whole NWO is about. That's what the whole system, all right, of them performing this enterprise is about what? To track, trace, monitor, all right, and ultimately put something inside of you to where they don't even have to do it that much. You see it, me and you brothers talk about that, these different episodes on Black Mirror, with the whole the social credit
Credit
thing.
score,
All
credit
right.
score.
Mm-hmm. I try to monitor the words a little bit. You never know with YouTube, but and then you look over there in China and see that this is a real thing, you know. But all of these things are coming to a place near you. Go ahead, Kalaya.
Yeah, since you mentioned, over there in China, I just wanted to note that, not only is it a real thing, but it's effective.
Mm-hmm.
It's extremely effective over there in China, man. If you look at, some of the different videos and accounts concerning that particular matter, you'll see that there are people that are actually afraid, okay, and shun people with those low credit scores and things of that nature, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so what these brothers is going into is not far fetched at all. It's only far fetched to a shallow mind and a person with blind eyes, man.
That's
Okay,
right.
this is a very real thing, and that's what these devils intend on. This is their heart's desire, you know. But you got it, I
Yeah,
got
if I could kind of, we're gonna get them precepts out the way and kind of get back on point. But this information got to come out, because along with being named a enemy of the state per se, all right, because what you've been telling the truth, you've been speaking out against the society, all right. But I want to add to you because I had a video saved in my phone of this lady who lives in China or whatnot, and she ultimately was saying how she bought a phone or something and something was wrong with the phone. So they turned off the phone and she got a huge deduction in her credit score and it kind of spiraled like your girl off of Black Mirror. It kind of spiraled down to that to where the people who helped her after the phones turned off, they got deductions from their social credit. You go look these things up, it's real, you know? And now she's sitting in the penalty to where she can't even go to the store and buy food, man. You know, but Jacob think these things are far off. But go ahead with your precept, Kalia. I know Hezekiah, you still got that John 15, right?
Con.
Kind. Go ahead with yours, Kalia. And brothers holding that Revelation 19. Somebody can hold that Revelation 19. But
Let's
go
start
ahead.
with Matthew 5 and 10 too.
Kind. Nahal, you have got the information from me?
God, I got it.
Okay. Go ahead, Kalia, bro.
Gun. This is um Revelations 12, because you mentioned it earlier, but I just kind of want to grab it. Revelations 12 and 17. All right. It
My
says,
20 and 4.
and the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of Yahweh and have the testimony of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. And that's ultimately all right, their reasoning for coming after the prophets, man. All right, they're upset that Jake is standing so stiffly, all right, for Yahweh Shai, man, for the word, all right, for this ministry. You know, we are the prime suspect when it comes down to the falling of his kingdom. All right, scriptures tell you that these words in which we speak, all right, this thing of ours is pulling down this devil's stronghold. You know,
Mhm.
but you got it, out.
And what that was, Revelation 12 and 13?
No, 12 and 17.
17. Okay. Uh yeah, it's a lot of meat in there. But
Kind of want to
yeah,
get
man.
the point. You want me to go up?
Kind. Nah, it's cool. It's cool. Because the dragon is who? Ultimately Esau Edom, man. All right. And that woman being Israel, and it shows you that he's going back to that ancient not it's not even ancient, honestly. All right. He's going back to his natural nature, all right, of putting shit to death, man. It tell you that in Romans 13 that he's the minister, all right, and he buried not the sword in vain. So mass majority of people here, all right, in America are getting ready to see Esau Edom not bear the sword in vain. You see? But I kept calling for Revelation 19, but it's actually Revelation 20 and 4. All right. You could bring that out to back up this brother, to show, that how wrought, all right, that he's gonna be with, the nation of Israel, all right, with the prophets, man. All right. A brother give me Psalms, I think it's 105, where it said, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. Brother could grab that real quick. But bring out that Revelation 20 and 4 for me real quick too.
I got it.
Con.
This Revelations 20 and 4. It says, and I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushua and for the word of the Most High, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Hamashiach 1,000 years.
Right. And this is a vision that John had, seeing the elect, brother could hold on deck that Second Thessalonians, seeing the elect, ultimately be beheaded, all right, for what they believe in, all right, for speaking the truth, all right, for not getting down with the system, okay, and for ultimately holding on to their fate to the end. Some brothers will be beheaded. You see? What? For the testimony and for the word of Yahushua. You know? The servant not greater than his Lord, as the brother brought up earlier. Matter of fact, you could get that John 15, because they persecuted Yahushua, they're gonna persecute us. You know? Yeah, we were all, in a perfect world, we would all just not taste death in a perfect world. But you have to count the cost of suffering persecution. You have to count the cost of being put to death, all right, for the testimony of Yahushua. Not every single brother is just gonna get straightway beamed up into the chariot, man. Some brothers is gonna come back with Yahushua in the chariots, man. You know? But it's a part of what? Suffering persecution, you see? Go ahead, bro. With that John 15.
This is John 15 and verse 20. It says, remember the word that I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord. If they have persecuted me, they will also persecute you. If they
Right.
have kept
And like I said earlier, all right, the governor said, look, I find this man guilty, and he washed his hands. And they said, what? Let his blood be upon us and our children. Why? Because Yahushua did nothing wrong. We are doing nothing wrong but prophesying the words of the Bible, man. All right. And here it is. All right. If it's so far-fetched, if we so crazy, why are we going to suffer persecution for it? Why have we become enemies, all right, of the world for it? But go ahead.
if they have kept my saying, they will keep yours also.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 21.
Yep, you can get it.
It says, but all these things will they do unto you for my name's sake, because they know not him that sent me.
Mm-hmm. That's the point, man. They persecuted Yahushua. They're gonna persecute us too. But as it says, what the just gonna live by faith, man. All right. So whether we be put to death, or not, it don't matter. All right. We are wholeheartedly convinced that we can't be separated from the love of a Mashiach Yahushua, man. Brothers got any precepts? Y'all can bring them out. I know I've got brothers holding a couple of them.
I got a
Yeah, I got
precept,
some.
but I got that Psalms 105 for you.
You can bring out your precept first.
Con. This is Revelations 2 and 10, and it says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulations 10 days. Be thou faithful until death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And what I'm saying, some brothers will, be cast into prison and have to serve out that time, whichever time it's supposed to be. You could be like 10 days, a month or so, and so forth. But it says, be faithful until death, and I will give you a crown of life. So you got to be able to endure these things, for the Lord. So whenever that persecution comes, you got to take it to the chin. You can't just fold for those type of things, But all these things is written in here, so we could be ready for when that time comes. So we don't have to be afraid. It's not like the Lord putting us in a shadow and saying, look, just deal with it. He's letting us know and letting us get prepared for these times that's about to come.
That was it?
Con, that was it. Unless you want that.
Go ahead. Who had another one?
I got some real quick.
Go ahead, I'll do it because
Yeah, it's the real quick one. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 48, verse 14, and it reads, "For this power is our power forever and ever. He will be our guide even to death." So since we want a topic about death, staying silent to the end, even if we gotta get our head chopped off or get tortured or persecuted, Lord said he will be with us. And, the men of the Lord, we confident that the Lord will be with us to the end. Because he told us we go suffer these things. Get thrown in jail, persecuted, might get tortured, but hey, the Lord gives a spirit of what? He ain't give a spirit of fear. We expect
Mhm.
these things to happen. You know what I'm saying? You gotta
God, that's a beautiful point. The Lord ain't give us a spirit of fear. So, we might have to get that account in Second Maccabees, the 7th chapter, man. Oh, you got that out?
Now I was thinking, but man, that's Goliath favorite precept right there.
God.
That's that better pre.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get that in Second Maccabees, man, to show you got it. To show what our mindset gonna be, you know. Hey man, we gonna be in good spirits, knowing that we gonna be chastised of the Lord. And after that, brother, get that. You wanna say something, Shia?
Because you had said something. My shit was tripping, bro. That's why I had to back out and come back in. But you had said before that brother brought that last precept out that we not doing nothing wrong. Okay, we just doing the things that the Lord is telling us, which is all in righteousness. Okay, but I had a word because I brought out the word persecution, but the word persecutor got some good stuff in it too.
Mm-hmm.
This the word persecutor on a online etymology. It says one who one who pursues and harasses another unjustly
Mm.
and vexatiously, a persecutor of Christians, an oppressor of the church or Christians.
Yeah, and who fit that description? You know, who's the persecutor of the church? Hey, uh, oh man, it slipped my mind. Go ahead with that, Kalaya. If you want to make a point to Shia, make a point. But we're gonna get that second Maccabees next.
Nah, you kind of covered it, but that's like you said, that's Esau coming down with that great rat, man.
That's it.
Coming to persecute us, man, for things which we're doing in righteousness. But you got it.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
So obviously Jay not gonna get every line in this, every verse. So I'm gonna skip around.
Nah, just start from the top, out.
That's what you want?
I'm
God.
just messing with you, brother.
That what you want me to do?
No, bro, go ahead,
Oh,
do your thing.
yeah, so this second Maccabees chapter 7, and I'm gonna start at uh yeah, I'm gonna just get the first account and skip around.
Mhm.
It's second Maccabees 7:1, and it reads, "It came to pass also that 7 brethren with their mother were taken and compelled by the king against the law to taste swine's flesh, and were tormented with scourges and whips. But one of them that spake first said thus, What wouldest thou ask or learn of us? We are ready to die rather than to transgress the laws of our fathers.
Mhm.
Then the king, being in a rage, commanded pans and cauldrons to be made hot, which forthwith, being heated, he commanded to cut out the tongue of him that spake first, and to cut off the uttermost parts of his body, the rest of his brethren and his mother looking on."
Right. So he sought to make an example, all right, out of the first man. You see, that was his mindset. All right, I'm gonna make an example out of him. All right, and the rest of them, they're not gonna follow that same suit. You see, but we about to see what how the spirit of the Lord is gonna have his men in that day. All right, when Esau rolled up on us, right? When he seems to do his harm to us. All right, we gonna see, what the Lord gonna do for us. All right, and like I said earlier, yeah, in a perfect world, every man, you know, just gonna get straightway beamed up into the chariots, but that's not the case. But there is going to be men that do not taste that, right? That the Lord is going to give spiritual powers on this side. So you see Jake, you're going to see Jake talking shit, but we actually going to see, men of the Lord get spiritual powers, man. On this side. Like it says in the brother brought it out in Isaiah 59 and 15. But when you jump down a few more verses, it tell you that when the enemy come in like a flood, that the Lord is going to lift up a standard, man. You know, which means to do what? Make a way for him to escape. But go ahead, bro.
Con. And I just want to make note that it said that they were ready to die rather
Mm-hmm.
than transgress the laws of our fathers. And when you go into it, man, that we rather die than take that MOTB, man.
That's right.
But I'm gonna keep reading verse 5. It says, now when he was thus maimed in all his members, he commanded him, saying, yet alive, to be brought to the fire and to be fried in a pan. And as the vapor of the pan was for a good space dispersed, they exhorted one another with the mother to die manfully, saying thus, the Lord Yahweh looketh upon us, and in truth hath comfort in us, as Moses in his song, which witnessed to their faces, declared, saying, and he shall be comforted in his servants. Now, I'm gonna jump down to the third one. Verse 10. It says, after him was the third made a mocking stock, and when he was required, he put out his tongue, and that right soon, holding forth his hands manfully, and said courageously, these I had from heaven, and for his laws I despised them, and from him I hope to receive them again, insomuch that the king and they that were with him marveled at the young man's courage, for that he nothing regarded the pains. It says, now when this man was dead also, they tormented and mangled the fourth in like manner. So when he was ready to die, he said thus, it is good, being put to death by men, to look for hope from Yahweh to be raised up again by him. As for thee, thou shalt have no resurrection to life.
And our brother get that 2 Thessalonians, man. All right, to show that when you read in the GNT, it says, verse 14, but his final words were, I am glad to die at your hands, because we have the assurance that our power will raise us from death, but there will be no resurrection to life for you. You see? So that's why I say to us, it don't matter, all right, whether we live, right, whether we be put to death for the Lord, it don't matter, man. All right. Why? Because we have a resurrection unto life. Go ahead, Doc.
Yeah, I just want to say this because it mentioned that he had no regard to the pain, man. All right.
Yeah.
Hey, the Lord could put it to where he don't make you feel no pain. All right, when these devils pull out, their thumb screws, right? Waterboarding and all the different manners of torture in which they gonna, put on Jake, man. Because there are bills, that show that these sorts of things, guillotines, right? Like I mentioned, the thumb screws and other wild, inventions are created for torture. All right, these things have been put in place and purchased in high number, man. All right, and they intend to use these things. They didn't buy those things for nothing, So, man, the Lord could put a spirit on you to where you don't even feel the pain, Hey, look at Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They was in the flames.
Yeah.
Who was in there with them? Yahushua, man. Go ahead, Kabak.
Yeah, even Stephen too, man, Acts, man. Well,
That's
hey,
right.
we was being stoned. He said he was looking up to the heavens, man. But a point I want to make too is that we going to that third brother, right? He said he stuck out his hand But he said he loved the law more than his hands. So basically, hey, he made his body a living sacrifice, man. So hey, man, we gotta have that same mindset, which we already got that mindset, man. To where, hey, according to Revelation 12 and 11, we love not our lives unto death. So really, man, we should be willingly, you know what I'm saying, go through this, man. Because hey, man, we tired of being here anyway, man. We ready for this thing to be over with, you know? You got it.
That's right, bro. Real quick, brother, grab Luke 21 and 12, Bible Shah, because this is a prophecy ultimately that is this is red letters, and these things that happen to the Maccabean brothers, all right, Yahweh Shah prophesied that it's going to happen to us, and go ahead, Ahmad, you want to say something?
No, I was finna say I got that Revelation 20 and 12.
Revelation 20 and 12, I thought we read that.
No, you said Luke.
Yeah, Luke 21 and 12.
I got it right here. This Luke 21 and 12, and it reads, "But before all these, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake."
Right. So, in apostles, we always bring out that example of how, they were rolled up on, about 25 years ago, with the whole situation up there in New York, man. And how they were brought in front of, judges and, princes, man, you know. And these things are going to happen again. All right. For what? All for the sake and for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. All right. Now, our brother still holding that First Thessalonians 4, so we can get that out the way real quick, and
I
then
got it. And I still got the
then we're gonna get
information too.
you on mute, Nahalia.
You get me?
No, I can hear him.
I don't know, I can't hear him.
Yeah, tell him
Just read it.
I got it. I got
I'm about
it.
to
And I
leave out
got
and
that
come back in.
information for him too.
He said he got it for you. Read it.
Still got the information for you too, brother.
And the information.
Go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
It says, this is First Thessalonians 4, and I'll start at 13. It says, "But I would not have you to be ignorant, brethren, concerning them which are asleep, that ye sorrow not, even as others which have no hope. For if we believe that Yahushua died and rose again, even so them also which sleep in Yahushua will the Most High bring with him. For this we say unto you by the word of the Lord, that we which are alive and remain unto the coming of the Lord shall not prevent them which are asleep." It says, verse 16, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead in Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which
Hey, I
are
can't hear
alive."
him. You can just break it down, Kalaya. I can't hear him.
Yeah, real quick, I wanted to say this. All right, because sleep sometimes in the scriptures is synonymous with death, man. All right. Once you go into the true understanding of what it means to die, all right, it just just it's synonymous with slumber, man. All right.
Rest.
So that's what it's telling you in verse 15. All right. It's not gonna prevent them, okay, from reaching the kingdom of heaven. Okay, being a first fruit. It's not gonna prevent them. All right, they just sleep right now. They die in the truth, man. You know that wouldn't be just. All right, that wouldn't be fair. Okay, these men have devoted themselves unto Yahweh while Yahweh shine. Okay, made their bodies a living sacrifice. All right, and die, and they can't taste of the sweet splendor of the kingdom. All right, the sweet splendor of being the first fruit. Nah, man. Scriptures tell you that their works follow them. All right, if you die in the truth. But go ahead,
They'll be the
It's
first
just
to get
talking
that
about be
reward.
at rest.
That's right, man. Yeah, that's right. Because it tell you in verse 14, hey, Yahweh Shai gonna bring them with them, bring them with him. Okay, on that chariot, all right, that fathership, when Yahweh Shai cracked the clouds, hey, the men that died in this ministry, okay, They gonna be the first ones to get their new bodies. All right, to lay their eyes on the Lord, man. You know. But go ahead.
Yep. Verse 16, for the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of the Most High, and the dead and Hamashiach shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up together with them in the clouds to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord.
Get the last verse.
Wherefore comfort one another with these words.
That's right, man. Okay, so when the salvation portion of prophecy start to happen, all right, that's what it means. All right, when we gonna be caught up together with them, you see, they gonna be greeting us. You know, Lord willing, we have that number on the chariot, man. Okay, they gonna be greeting us with open arms, man. You know, but yeah, that's it.
Con, if I can make a point real fast, that's why we always emphasize that last verse too. You know, what for comfort one another with these words, because these are words of comfort. Go ahead.
Yeah, because people of the world are scared of death. Okay, because you only feel something that you don't understand. All right, they don't understand that. They don't understand how it works. They don't know about the chamber of souls and things of that nature, man. Okay, so when it boiled down to it, that's why I tell you in verse 18, like the brother say, that's why we stress verse 18. Okay, comfort each other with these words. That as is basically telling you to go hard, man. It's nothing that could prevent you. Go ahead,
Brother, want to make any points? You can go ahead, Nahoya, with your info with that with them judgments. You know,
Con. Yep,
because
and this
hey man, these are the type of things, like we went through with the Maccabees. These is a part of counting the cost. It's not like the scripture said in Revelation 10. All right, there's honey, all right, and then there's bitterness. This is the bitterness of the scriptures, right? But you have to factor this into your walk, right? You have to put that in your mind that look, I may have to go through this. It's better to be prepared for it, all right, spiritually, than to not be prepared for it at all, you know? But go ahead, Nahoya.
Con. Yeah, and this in the this on Google. And this is gonna tie into, everything brother's been talking about, the persecution, the torment, all right, all those things, the martyrdom, all right. But I'll start at the top. It's just a smaller summary, and then I'll read down. I'll get the highlighted part. No, I'll read the whole thing at the top. It says, according to Christian tradition and historical records, most of the 12 apostles were martyred for their faith. All right, so they was put to death for their faith. It says facing brutal deaths while spreading the gospel. While Judas Iscariot died by suicide and John is believed to have died of natural causes, the rest faced execution, including crucifixion, stoning, and stabbing. Right? And at the bottom, there's just a little bit more in depth of each of their deaths. It says the deaths of the 12 apostles. Judas Iscariot died by suicide by hanging following the betrayal of Yahushua. Simon Peter crucified upside down in Rome as he felt unworthy to die in the same manner as Yahushua. James, son of Zebedee, executed by sword, beheaded by King Herod Agrippa the first in 44 AD. John survived being boiled in oil, was exiled to Patmos, and later died of old age at Ephesus. Andrew crucified on an egg-shaped cross in Patras, Greece. Philip crucified upside down in Phrygia, Asia Minor. Bartholomew, which is Nathaniel, flayed. It says flayed alive and beheaded in Armenia. Thomas slain by a spear or arrows in India. Matthew stabbed to death with a sword or pike in Ethiopia. The other James, son of how you pronounce it, son of Alphaeus, stoned and clubbed to death in Jerusalem. Simon the Zealot, sawn in half or killed in Persia. Thaddeus, a Jew, killed with an axe or shot with arrows. Matthias, stoned and then beheaded. And that's where it ended. But if you wanted me to speak on it, bro, this is just a part of our testimony. The brother brought out that word persecution in the online etymology, speaking about being hunted down, speaking about being tormented. So this is a part of our faith. This is a part of our testimony, the things that we gotta go through being men of the law, because those men that happened to are back here today. We're some of those men. So we gotta be expecting the same outcome in certain situations. But y'all brothers got it.
Yeah, like brothers always say, man, it's Acts 2.0, man. Shoot, so hey, those things that happen to those men, it's coming back in style, man. It's gonna come back, man. Again, don't tell us. You got it.
Yeah, I got a precept. It was in Acts, going into the account of the apostles when they was beaten. This is Acts 5 and verse 40. And it says, and to him they agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Yahushua and let them go. And this is the point. It says, and they departed from the presence of the councils, rejoicing that they were counted worthy to suffer for his name. So, those apostles, when they was beaten, by these people, man, they gave praises because they was worthy enough to be, they was kind of worthy enough to suffer for, Yahushua name, and that's how, we should be in that time whenever we get persecuted or whenever we have to go through these trials and tribulations. We should be rejoicing because, we's worthy enough to suffer for the Lord's name.
Yeah. Hey, that walked me right into that Matthew 5. You still got that?
I
Yeah, you can
got
bring that Matthew 5 out real quick. Go ahead, Kalai.
Yeah, I just wanted to say this too. It's beautiful that you got that brother to go into that because hey, I don't know about y'all, but that gave me goosebumps, man. You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
Jake gotta understand that this is serious business. All right, you're not going out on Saturdays. Doing conference calls throughout the week and things of that nature just because it's a hobby. Like this ain't no hobby, man. All right, this is real life. All right, and obviously real death. You see, but like you say, man. Hey, Jake gotta count the cost and know what the hell they into, and not just only Jake. All right, that's actively preaching and willing and dealing with this word, but also all of those that subscribe, right, and watch. Okay, whether it be for entertainment purposes or whatever the case they may be doing, man. Your ass is getting that list is getting sent to that BI too, man.
Absolutely.
Your information, okay, the way things work, everything you do on your phones and computers, things of that nature is being documented, all right, stored up, okay, all of that data, man. you know so I think you made mention of it earlier, even those that scoff, man, to
Mhm.
hell. Hey, you was in tune with it, okay. You have been deemed a what, a theist, all right. But you got it. I just wanted to make mention of that. This is serious
Yeah.
business.
Yeah, if I could add to you, because even, this is the apostles, right? But even the prophets of old, Isaiah, he was sawed in half, man. You know, these things are real life. Like you said, this is life and death. All right. Literally, you know, this is nothing to play around with. But Jake, not taking this grace period seriously. You know, you're around in the minute of the Lord, but you just playing. You know, not understanding the times we in. You know, not understanding what's getting ready to happen. You should be using this time period to be building yourself up. All right, going through the afflictions, going through adversity, in order to what? Increase your faith. You see? Because if you're not doing these things and these persecutions coming, all right, you're gonna be denying the Lord, man. You're gonna be ashamed of the Lord, you know, and you're gonna be throwing your crown away. Why? Because when the time was here, I was playing around, you know. I it was cool, you know, I like being with the brothers, you know, I like preaching, but I wasn't really serious, you know. You don't want that to be you, man. All right. But who that was holding that Matthew?
That was
Go
me.
ahead with that Matthew, and we gonna wind it down, bro.
Hey, let Judah Kazak get that Matthew.
Kind that was Matthew 5.
5.
It's like 5 and 10.
5 and verse 10.
Okay, yeah, this is the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 10, and it reads, Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven.
Mm-hmm.
Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, that was it.
God. And like how Shai said, man, it's a blessing to be persecuted for him, all right, for the ministry. All right. It's a blessing. Why? Because our reward, all right, it's not gonna fail. We're gonna receive everlasting reward. Like the brother Kaya say all the time, it's gonna be a point in time, all right, when teaching, all right, going to camp, it's just gonna be the end. That's a chapter of that book is gonna close, all right, and we're gonna have to live what we actually been preaching. You know, we're gonna have to walk that walk, man. Jay's easy for Jake to talk the talk right now, but you ultimately gonna have to walk that walk, man. All right, and we're gonna see, you know, the ones who the Lord, you know, ultimately is really and truly dealing with, you know. And like I said, Lord willing, you know, myself and you know, all the brothers are behind the camera, right? And the true and sincere believers make it, man. You know. But if brother ain't have anything else, we gonna close out on that. You gonna make any closing remarks? You can go ahead.
I got pre. You go ahead,
Go
Kalak.
ahead, precept.
Yeah, I just
Con.
did this because hey, this persecution signifies what? The famine of the word.
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen somebody whose life was sought after just continue doing their daily activities, man. You know, nah, the Lord gonna put us up, man. Okay, we ain't gonna be going out on the block and the Esau got our faces all over the goddamn TVs and you know different news outlets and shit like that, man. So in turn, we not gonna be sitting and just doing a damn video while they, you know, while all this going on, man. You know,
Yeah.
hey, persecution signifies what, man? Hey, the famine of the word. And what happens after the famine of the word, man? Hey, destruction. The warning has went out. All right, then judgment coming after, man.
Mm.
Go ahead, Doc.
Couple, I know you had a quick precept.
Uh,
I'm gonna get mine.
uh, This Philippians chapter 1, verse 29. For unto you is given in the behalf of Yahweh Shai, not to only believe on him, but also to suffer for his sake.
Mm.
So yeah, basically we come upon that time to where, hey, you know, and really just realize that we're not in this thing just to, hey man, preach. You know what I'm saying? Which that's our main objective. You know, of course, hey, to preach, man, preach his word. But soon, hey man, we're gonna have to suffer too, man. Was hey, the main thing we're gonna suffer is that persecution. You know? So as the brother was saying, hey, we gotta, you know, count the cost, man. We gotta prepare ourselves, man. You know, to suffer on a major level. You got it.
Yeah, I got a quick precept. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 4 on verse 3, and it reads, "Fear not the sentence of death. Remember them that have been before thee and that come after, for this is the sentence of the Lord over all flesh." And we were just reading about what our righteous forefathers went through. They went through gruesome deaths, but they took it as men. You know what I'm saying? They ain't fear. What the Matthew brothers say, take it like a man, bro. The Lord might put a spirit on, if that's our lot, we might laugh in these devils' faces when they tell us, oh, we finna chop your head off, or, different type of things, bro. Because we already know death, man, we going to be with the Lord. And we, man, shit, it's a beautiful thing to just even experience that, for Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, because the brother Kalai said it. Not a lot of people understand death, especially our people. You know what I'm saying? They think just you die is end all be all, man. There's rest that come with that. And Yahweh Shah is coming with that rest and peace for us. You got it, Lord.
That's a point too. I want to make a point too. Yeah, what I've been saying lately. Either way it go, you go suffer. And either way it
Yeah.
go, you go die. You go
Yeah.
face that
Mhm.
either or. So in the point, yeah, basically you gotta choose which a lawyer he gonna choose for you. You know what I'm saying? According to his will, but you gotta make that choice. Where you gonna die for? You know what I'm saying? Or you gonna die honorably, or you gonna die dishonorably? That's a question you gotta ask yourself, man. You got it.
Yeah, that's a hell of a point right there. That's a hell of a point right there. And that made me think about that. It's in Matthew, but we had got it in the Luke 21. It said, you know, don't be careful what to say because the Lord in that, just roughly paraphrasing, in that day the Lord he gonna put it on your spirit what to say. When we
Mhm.
get rolled up on. You know, but if a brother ain't have anything else,
I got one. This First Peter 3
you on mute.
and
Okay, yeah.
Oh, you there?
Yeah, God.
Yeah, just bring it out, break it down, brother.
this First Peter 3 and 14. But and if ye suffer for righteousness' sake, happy are ye, and be not afraid of their terror, neither be troubled. And I brought this out because we're going to go through this persecution, but we've been persecuted for righteousness' sake. So there's no point in us being troubled or worried about it because we know Yahweh Shema Shai got us. You got it out.
Yeah, he finished.
Go ahead, Hezekiah. We're gonna end it on you,
No,
man.
I just was going to add on to you. Hey, you could jump to verse 17. Hazar, you can hit.
You muted. You muted.
You muted.
This First Peter 3 and 17. For it is better if the will of Yahweh be so that ye suffer for well doing than for evil doing.
Right, Khan. So, just like the brother was saying, we're gonna suffer, persecution, for Yahweh Bashem Al Shad. Jake, is willing to die, for colors, man, for red and for blue, or for block, so-called block control and all the rest of these different things. So, in like manner, and in some form, we take the same approach to Yahweh Shai, man, in so many words. But you brothers got it.
See, Salagi, brother. I got one more.
Go ahead, bro.
This is the book of John. I don't know if y'all brung this out. I think y'all was kind of lower, but this John 15 and 13. It says, "Greater love had no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Okay, but that's just backing up the point of what that brother just said, which this is the greatest thing that we can do to prove to Yahweh Shai that we may be worthy, man. Okay, because that's the last thing. That's the end of everything, man. The last thing is death. Okay, so if you willing to put your life on the line, man, that's the greatest thing in which you could do. But you got it.
Yeah, Yahweh Shah put his life on the line for us to even have a chance at salvation. So, by default, one of his brothers, all right, somebody that's going to inherit the kingdom with him, should at least be willing, all right, already to do the same thing for him. Common sense, almost. But that's pretty much the point, man. So with that, man, we're gonna go ahead and give our praises, glory, and honors to Yahweh,
Bahashim
Yahweh Shah
Yahushua,
Shemar
Bahashim
Shabrakadash.
Rakadash.
The bonds to your apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Once again, in peace, blessings, and salutations be to the hopefully elect. Till next time, we're gonna say shalom,
Shalom.
Shalom.
Abba Bab,
Abba.
and Kwam Yashara.
Shalom.
Yashua.
Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.